You're lying in bed. The lights are off. Your body has gone soft and heavy, and you are maybe 90 seconds from sleep. And then your brain reaches back. 9 years. 11 years. It doesn't matter how far. It finds the exact moment you waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you. The time you called your teacher mom in front of the entire class. The goodbye where your voice cracked on a single word and a stranger almost smiled. And just like that, your eyes are open. Your heart is a little faster, and a warmth is creeping up your neck, in the dark, over something that happened to a version of you that barely exists anymore. This is the psychology of the 2 a.m. replay. The strange, specific cruelty of a brain that ignores 1,000 ordinary days, then waits until the dark and hands you the one memory you would pay actual money to delete. Here's what I want you to notice first. Your brain is not replaying your proudest moment. It's not showing you the time you were kind or brave or quietly brilliant in a way nobody clapped for. It reaches every single time for the cringe, for the slip, for the moment you'd undo if you had one wish. And by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why it does that. Why it picks those moments and nothing else. Why it waits for the dark. And here's the part that's going to surprise you. Why this thing that feels like pure self-sabotage is actually one of the oldest, most protective systems you own. Why the replay is, underneath everything, an act of love. So stay with me, because the answer is stranger and far more human than just a brain being mean to you for no reason. Let's start with the most basic question. Why now? Why does this happen in the dark and almost never at noon? Think about your day. Your mind is busy. There's a screen in front of you, a conversation to track, a task with a deadline, 100 small things tugging at your attention from every direction. Your brain is pointed outward. It's spending all of its energy on the world, on the next thing, on the problem in front of your face. But at night, the world goes quiet. The inputs stop. The screen goes dark. And here's the thing people get wrong. A brain with nothing left to process does not switch off. It does the opposite. It turns inward. It goes looking for something to chew on. Neuroscientists have a name for the system that takes over in those quiet moments. They call it the default mode network. It's the program your brain runs when it has no other program to run. The screensaver of the human mind. And it switches on the instant you stop feeding your attention to the outside world. But the default mode network has one favorite hobby, and it is not relaxation. It reviews you. Your relationships, your standing, who likes you, who might not, where you fit, and whether you still fit at all. It runs the social ledger, top to bottom, every night, whether you asked it to or not. So when you finally lie down and the noise fades and you think you're about to rest, you're not resting. You are handing the controls to the one part of your brain whose entire job is to ask a single, ancient, gnawing question. Are you okay with the group? Are you safe inside the tribe? Did anyone see you slip? And that question is where everything starts to make terrible sense. But first, one more thing about the timing, because the dark is doing more damage than you realize. It isn't only that the world goes quiet at night, it's that you go quiet too. By the time you're lying down, your brain has been working all day. And the part of you that normally keeps these thoughts in check, the calm, rational manager up front that says, "It's fine, let it go. That was years ago." That manager is exhausted. It clocks out before you do. So at night, the old alarm has the building almost to itself. There's no one left to argue with it. During the day, when the cringe flickers up, your busy, rational mind swats it down before it can fully form. But at 2 a.m, the brakes are worn thin, the lights are off, and the alarm gets to run as loud and as long as it wants. The same thought that would have lasted 3 seconds at lunch can loop for an hour in the dark. And the loop feeds itself. Each time you replay the moment, you're not just remembering it, you're re-recording it, with tonight's fear mixed into the audio. The memory gets a little worse each pass, a little more shameful, a little more cringe than it actually held, which makes you replay it again, which makes it worse again. That is the engine of the late-night spiral. Not new information, just the same memory, photocopied over and over, getting darker with every copy. So if you've ever wondered why the same moment that barely stings in daylight can flatten you at night, that's why. Same memory, tired brain, no breaks. Now, watch what happens, because this is the part almost nobody notices. Catalog the memories that actually surface at night. Really look at them. They are almost never private. You don't lie awake replaying the time you stubbed your toe alone in your kitchen. You don't relive the afternoon you quietly made a mistake on a spreadsheet that no one ever saw. Those moments hurt too, in their way, but they don't loop. What loops is the time you were seen, the trip in front of people, the thing you said that landed wrong in a room full of faces, the text that got left unread, the joke that died in a silence so total you could hear the air conditioning. Every single one of those memories has a witness in it, a pair of eyes, an audience, however small. That's the clue. That's the whole secret hiding in plain sight. Your brain is not torturing you about pain. It's torturing you about exposure, about the precise instant you might have lowered your status in front of other human beings. Because to the oldest part of your brain, exposure and danger are not two different things. They are the same thing. They have always been the same thing. To understand why, you have to go back, way, way back, past your childhood, past your grandparents, past history itself. For almost the entire span of human existence, you could not survive on your own. There was no buying food. There was no locking your door at night. There was no calling for help. If you were cast out of your group, if the people around you decided you were strange or untrustworthy or weak or simply not worth the share of meat, you died. Maybe not that night, but soon. Alone, in the cold, with no one to share food, no one to watch for predators while you slept, no one to come looking when you didn't come back. So evolution did something brutal and brilliant. It took the fear of social rejection and made it feel almost exactly like the fear of death. It wired your brain to track, obsessively, relentlessly, every single moment that might have damaged your place in the group. Because for the people you descended from, those moments were not embarrassing. They were lethal. Every ancestor who shrugged off rejection and didn't worry about it, they tended not to become anyone's ancestor. Picture one of them for a second. A person sitting at the edge of the fire, replaying something they said earlier that made the others go quiet. A joke that didn't land. A boast that came off wrong. A moment they pushed too hard for the bigger share. They lie awake that night, turning it over, feeling the heat of it, rehearsing how to make it right tomorrow. Who to sit beside, what to offer, how to smooth it back over. That person is uncomfortable. That person is, in our modern word, anxious. And that person survives because they repair the rift before it widens. The one beside them who felt nothing, who slept soundly and never gave it another thought. That one keeps making the same mistakes, keeps slipping a little further from the center of the group, until one cold season, the group stops sharing with them at all. You are the grandchild of the one who lay awake. The replay is your inheritance. It is the survival instinct of someone who needed the fire and knew it. You are descended from the worriers, from the ones who lay awake replaying the social slip, fixing it, making sure it never happened again. The ones who took being laughed at seriously. Because in their world, being laughed at was the first step toward being left behind. And here is the deeply uncomfortable part. That wiring never got an update. There was no new version. It is still running, unchanged, in you, tonight, right now. In a warm bed behind a locked door, in a world where no one is going to cast you into the cold for mispronouncing a word in a meeting. But your brain doesn't know that. It cannot tell the difference between a saber-toothed predator and a coworker who didn't laugh at your joke. To the ancient circuit underneath all your modern thoughts, both register identically. Both feel like the edge of the group, the cold place, the place you must not end up. So when your brain replays the time you stumbled over your own name during an introduction, it is not being petty. It is doing exactly the job it was built to do over millions of years. It is scanning a moment where you were exposed in front of the group, and it is asking, with genuine animal alarm, did that cost us? Are we still safe? Are we still in? Did they see? The 2 in the morning replay is not a malfunction. It is a threat detector. A perfect ancient threat detector, firing at full strength at a threat that stopped existing a very long time ago. But here's where it gets stranger, because the replay isn't only memory, it's rehearsal. Let me show you what I mean, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. When your brain pulls up the cringe, it doesn't just play the clip and stop. It runs the scenario forward. What I should have said. What they probably thought of me. The perfect line I'll use if it ever happens again. It workshops a moment that is already over. It polishes a comeback for a fight that ended years ago. It drafts an apology that nobody on earth is waiting to receive. On the surface, this is insane. The event is finished. The people are gone. There is nothing left to fix. The case is closed. But to your social brain, it is not insane at all. It is training. It is taking a moment of exposure and wringing every last drop of instruction out of it, so that the next time you stand in front of the group, you will not make the same mistake twice. The pain is the lesson tag. The cringe is your brain pressing the memory deeper, harder, so it sticks. So you'll remember the rule it cost you so much to learn. And that awful flush of heat you feel when the memory hits, the way your face actually warms, alone, in the dark, that's not random either. That's your body running the exact same alarm it ran the first time. The same shame response. The same blood rushing to your skin. You are physically blushing. At no one. In an empty room. Over a moment that exists nowhere now except inside your own skull. Sit with that for 1 second. You are blushing at a memory. Your body is apologizing to people who aren't there. And here's the part that should genuinely set you free if you let it. Your brain is not even remembering the moment accurately. It is remembering it from the inside as the most important person in the scene. Because to you, you were. But that is not how anyone else experienced it. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it the spotlight effect. You walk through the world feeling like there is a spotlight following you, lighting up your every stumble for a watching crowd. And there is a spotlight. But it only exists inside your own head, and you are the only one who can see it. In one set of studies, people were made to feel embarrassed, sent into a room wearing something they thought was humiliating, and then asked to guess how many of the others noticed. They guessed high, way high. The real number was a fraction of what they imagined. Roughly half as many people noticed as the embarrassed person was certain had been staring. Think about what that means for your 2 in the morning replay. Not only is the threat over, not only is everyone else asleep, but even back when it happened, in real time, your brain was already doubling the audience, inflating the witnesses, putting eyes on you that were actually pointed at their own phones, their own thoughts, their own private gallery of shame. The crowd you're ashamed in front of was barely looking. And the version your brain keeps screening has been quietly edited to make the spotlight brighter and the audience bigger than the moment ever actually was. You are not just haunted by a memory. You are haunted by a memory with the contrast turned all the way up. And here is the catch that makes the whole thing feel almost unfair. You are the only person alive who still has this memory. The coworker forgot by lunch. The stranger on the bus forgot before the next stop. The person you said the awkward thing to has lived 1,000 days since then. Each one stuffed full of their own cringe, their own 2 in the morning replays. And in not a single one of those replays do you appear. You are not in their gallery. You were never important enough to keep. You are the sole curator of your most embarrassing moment, the only one who saved the footage, the only one still screening it, nightly, in a private theater, to an audience of exactly one, buying your own ticket, every night, now. You might be wondering, fine, but why these specific moments? Why does my brain grip the cringe with both hands and let go of almost everything else? This is where it gets uncomfortable, and where the real answer is hiding. Your brain remembers what it feels strongly. Emotion is the ink that memory writes in. A boring Tuesday leaves almost no trace at all, because nothing about it mattered to your survival, and a brain that saved every Tuesday in full detail would drown in its own pointless records. So most of your life simply isn't recorded. It's gone, smoothed over, compressed into nothing. But a moment of intense social fear gets burned in deep, with all the trimmings. The room, the light through the window, the exact words, the expression on the one face that mattered, the heat climbing your neck. Your brain flags that moment as critical and saves the whole high-resolution file forever, in the front drawer, easy to reach. That's why you can recall a single humiliating sentence from a decade ago with perfect, surgical, brutal clarity. But you genuinely cannot remember what you ate for lunch last Thursday. One of those moments your brain classified as a survival event. The other was just food. Your memory isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it evolved to do. It's just that what it evolved to prioritize is the precise thing that hurts the most to keep. You don't have a bad memory. You have a memory perfectly optimized for a world that no longer exists. A world where being laughed at could be the beginning of the end. Let me give you a few examples, and I want you to watch how familiar they feel. Because this next part is the test. If even one of these is you, then everything I'm telling you is true. You're at a dinner, someone finishes a story, and at the end, you laugh. But you laugh half a second too long, alone, after everyone else has already stopped. And for one tiny moment, the whole table is quiet. And you can feel it land on your skin. That little silence. That's a status moment. Your brain files it on the spot. And it will hand it back to you at 2 in the morning, 3 years from now, with the heat fully included, free of charge. Or you're saying goodbye to someone you will never see again. A cashier, a person at a party, anyone. And you reach out for a handshake while they go in for a wave, and your hands do that confused little dance in the empty air between you. 3 seconds. Forgotten by them before they reached the door. Saved by you for the rest of your natural life. Or there's the classic. You send a message that's a little too eager, a little too much, a little too soon. And then you watch it sit there, delivered, unanswered. And your brain immediately begins producing a full documentary about everything that is wrong with you, narrated in your own voice, with no commercial breaks. That message is now a permanent exhibit in the museum of your shame. It will go on tour through your skull for years. Or go all the way back. You're a child. You raised your hand in class, certain you had the answer, and you were wrong. And one kid laughed, and the teacher made a face. You are an adult now. You have a job, maybe a family, a whole life that child could never have imagined. And you can still hear that one laugh, crystal clear, decades later. Because your brain decided in that instant that this was important. And your brain has never once reconsidered. Or it's bigger than that. You had to speak in front of a room, a presentation, a toast, a few words you'd practiced a dozen times. And somewhere in the middle, your mind went white, just for a beat. You lost the thread, your voice did something strange, and you saw it register on a few faces in the crowd. You recovered. You finished. People said it was fine, and they meant it. But you didn't believe them then, and you don't believe them now. And that single blank beat has its own permanent slot in the rotation, ready to play any night you give it the chance. Or it lives on your phone. You posted something, a photo, an opinion, a joke you were proud of, and it landed wrong. Or worse, it landed nowhere. The likes didn't come. One person you respected said nothing. And even though you deleted it within the hour, your brain saved a copy before you could. Now and then, with no warning, it shows you that post again, along with the imagined faces of everyone who might have seen it before you took it down. People who, in reality, scrolled right past without their thumb even slowing. Every one of those has the exact same fingerprint, a witness, a moment of exposure, a flicker of fear that you slipped in front of the people whose opinion your ancient brain treats as a matter of life and death. It's not that you're broken. It's that you are a tribe animal who has been pretending you don't need the tribe. And your oldest circuitry knows you're lying. So here is the twist, the real one, the thing that flips this entire picture over and makes you see it differently. The replay you hate so much, the one you would switch off forever if there were a switch, is not your enemy. It is the price of caring whether you are a good person to be around. Read that again slowly. The 2 in the morning replay is generated by the exact same system that makes you kind. The circuit that fires shame at your past self is the same circuit that makes you adjust, apologize, soften, notice, and try again tomorrow. People who feel no social pain at all, who can humiliate themselves and feel absolutely nothing, who never replay a single cringe, who can hurt someone and sleep like a baby. We actually have words for the far end of that spectrum, and they are not words you would ever want attached to your name. The replay is the felt sense of caring. It hurts precisely because you care about your place among people. And caring about your place among people is, quite literally, the thing that built every good part of human life. It's why you hold the door. It's why you remember someone's name and use it. It's why you say sorry and mean it. It's why you replay the moment you might have been careless with someone and resolve, somewhere underneath, to do better. Your brain is not punishing you. It is reminding you, in the most uncomfortable way it knows how, that you are a creature who belongs to other people. That you are built for the group. That you would genuinely rather get it right than be left out in the cold and the dark. The cringe is love, wearing a truly horrible mask. And there's a quiet consequence of all this that's worth naming out loud. The people who suffer the worst 2 in the morning replays are very rarely careless people. They're the considerate ones, the ones who notice the room, the ones who track how others feel, who replay the conversation to check whether they were kind enough, who would be mortified to learn they'd hurt someone without realizing it. The replay scales with how much you care about your effect on other people. So if your brain tortures you like this, if you're the kind of person who lies awake auditing your own behavior toward others, that is not a defect in your character. It is, in the most literal sense, evidence of it. The cruelest version of this loop tends to live in the kindest minds. It is a strange comfort, but it is a real one. The thing that keeps you up at night is the same thing that makes you someone worth keeping up at night for. Now, knowing all of this does not make the memory stop showing up. Understanding the alarm does not disconnect the alarm. but it completely changes what you do when it goes off. And that changes everything. Here is the trap almost everyone falls into. The memory arrives, the heat rises, and you fight it. You clench. You tell yourself, firmly, stop thinking about it. Stop. Not this again. And what happens? You think about it harder. You think about it louder. Because the struggle is itself a form of attention, and your brain reads attention as importance. And importance means it files the memory even deeper and serves it back to you even sooner. You are watering the exact thing you are trying to kill. The way out is the opposite of everything your instinct is screaming. When the memory comes, you don't wrestle it. You name it. You say quietly, almost gently, to yourself, there it is, the old alarm, the threat detector, firing at a danger that ended years ago. The tribe is fine. We are safe. Thank you, brain. Stand down. It sounds almost too simple to work, but naming the system for what it is takes the memory out of the threat category and moves it into the understood category. And your brain does not endlessly replay what it has already filed as understood. It only loops what still feels unresolved, unsorted, dangerous. The cringe loops because some part of you is still treating it as an open threat. The moment you see it for the ancient false alarm it actually is, the loop quietly loses its fuel. You are not erasing the memory. You're just finally telling the alarm it's allowed to rest. And if naming it isn't enough on its own, some nights it won't be. You can give the loop somewhere else to go. The replay runs on imagined eyes, on a scene playing in your mind. So move your mind out of the scene and into your body. Feel the weight of the blanket, the temperature of the air, the slow pull of one long breath, then another. This isn't a trick to fall asleep. It's a way of telling the ancient part of your brain the truth it can't read from inside a memory. That there is no group here, no fire, no watching circle of faces. Just a warm room, a safe body, a door that locks. The threat detector can only stay loud while you keep feeding it a crowd. Take the crowd away, and it has nothing left to guard. It takes practice. The first few nights, the memory will fight to stay. That's fine. You're not in a hurry, and neither is it. You're just slowly teaching an old alarm that the war it's still fighting ended a long, long time ago. And there is one more thing, and it's the gentlest part of all. The next time the replay comes, try to picture the person you're actually ashamed in front of. See their face, and then realize completely that they are not thinking about you. That right now, somewhere, they are lying awake over their own private gallery of cringe. Their own face warming in the dark over a moment you happened to witness, and then forgot before you'd even reached your car. Everyone is haunted. Every single human being is the sole curator of a humiliation that no one else on Earth remembers. The whole species is lying awake, separately, in a million dark bedrooms, each of us ashamed in front of the others, when every single one of us stopped watching a long, long time ago. That is not a sad fact. It is the most connecting thing I know. You are not uniquely embarrassing. You are not specially cursed. You are normally, ordinarily, beautifully human, running ancient software in a modern night. In a world that no longer poses the danger your brain is still so carefully guarding you against. So tonight, when the lights go off and your body goes soft and your brain reaches back 9 years for the one moment you'd give anything to undo, now you'll know exactly what it's doing. It's checking the group, counting the tribe, making absolutely sure that you are still safe and still wanted and still inside. It's an old guard dog, barking at a shadow it has mistaken for a wolf. It isn't broken, it's loyal. It just doesn't know the war is over. And you'll be able to tell it, with something close to tenderness, that you are. But before you drift off, here's something to watch for. Because this same fear has a daytime form, and it's so fast you've probably never caught it. The next time you feel that flush of social heat, not at night, but right out in the open, in a checkout line, in a waiting room, in a meeting the second it tips into awkward, pay close attention to what your hand does. It moves before you decide anything. It reaches for your phone, instantly, like a reflex you never agreed to install. Why? Why does a moment of discomfort send your thumb straight to a glowing rectangle every single time faster than thought? That's not random either, and it's the next thing we need to talk about. For now, I'm honestly curious about just one thing. The memory your brain replays on you, the one that surfaced while you were listening, the one you couldn't quite push down. You don't have to tell me what it is. Just tell me how old it is. How many years your brain has been faithfully screening a film that nobody else even remembers was ever made.